The sheep thinks the wolf's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. The sheep thinks the wolf's wrong. And a lot of it's like ostrich, right? So it's very easy for people to say, that doesn't matter anymore. We live in a civilized society, but it's really just hiding your head in the sand. And pretending it doesn't matter.
What does it feel like when people react, when the haters react to something that you say or do?
I think it's funny.
Yeah, I feel nothing.
It's genuinely hilarious. I do find it extremely funny that I can control people's emotions like that. I've not outsourced the ability to upset me to anybody else. If I want to be upset, it's my own conscious decision. If anybody can control your emotions, they can control you. If I can make you happy or sad, I can control and influence how you act and how you think and what you do. So to some degree, you're a slave. I'm absolutely apathetic to the opinions of other people, because if they can make me happy or sad, even happy, people giving me praise really has no effect. And people being sad to me, people being mean to me really has no effect. I don't get sad or happy either way. It's all internal as I decide myself. Otherwise, you're controlled. I don't want to be controlled by anybody.
Well, everybody seems to like your questions and they voted for you to stay, which brings me on to my answer to your exact question. It's like a poll, because you're talking about people who come at you and hate you on the internet, etc. So here's what will happen. I'll look at my Instagram inbox if I ever have time. And there'll be 10 to 15 beautiful women saying, oh, I'd love to come and hang out with you. Oh, I'd love you to come here. When are you next in Israel or LA or Ethiopia? Or when are you here? And beautiful women write me this. And then someone will send me some message of some overweight troll talking about how horrible I am. And I'm just like, it's democracy, isn't it? I don't care. Like, why would that bother me when all of the women that I think I'd like to associate with are reaching out? But obviously I'm a good Christian man. I never respond to those messages, but.
Right. So you want to tell them that you're here for a war room test, aren't you, Mr.
Yeah. Why are you here in my house? Justify it to me.
Well, yeah, I've been basically invited to participate in the war room. I have no idea what's in store. So I'm a willing participant.
A willing participant. That's right.
It means that we can also make a film and get to know you guys.
Yeah, correct. So the War Room has events 5 times a year, and you're coming to an event called The Test, which is a rite of passage for men. It's something that people can do and complete to say that they've done it and completed it. It's designed to be difficult, both mentally and physically. You knew you were coming to this, so I trust for the last few months you've been preparing rigorously, obviously.
No, I actually haven't at all.
What have you been doing?
Esports.
Not very much, to be honest.
Tell us an average day in the life of Matt, the filmmaker.
Walk my dog, do work, walk my dog again, go to sleep.
Yeah, that's not going to prepare you for the test.
How many push-ups do you do per day?
On days that I work out, I'll sometimes do 40 or 50 push-ups.
Well, you do work out.
Sometimes.
That's good.
Sometimes.
What's the most mentally challenging thing that's happened to you in the past 2 years?
The most mentally challenging things that have happened to me. I mean, I've done some documentaries about some very difficult things. I did a documentary about death. It was about euthanasia. I had to get to know people and kind of watch them die.
I get that. Yeah.
That was difficult to face death, in that way.
Yep.
Emotionally difficult. And,
are you ready to face it again?
Am I facing death?
We face death every day.
That's how it works, my friend. Welcome to the test. It's going to be very interesting. I will really want to see how you do. You are being judged.
Is there a risk of death?
There's always a risk of death.
The risk of death flying to Romania, the plane might crash.
Okay, but is there more of a risk of death?
Don't worry. Why are you worried? Don't worry about it.
Fishing for spoilers.
Don't worry about it, bro. Just sing a song. Be happy. You're going to be fine. Man. What's there to worry about? I actually have a little trailer for the test that's coming, and I'll play it. That might give some indication as to what's happening, but that's about it. So that's the most difficult thing you think you face in the last 2 years. And how often do you train or work out or that kind of thing?
Oh, up and down. So there have been years where I've worked out every day, and there's been years where I've worked out never.
What's the difference in your mentality when that happens? Do you feel different inside?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel worse when I'm not exercising.
So when you were talking earlier, when I asked us to rate us on strength, you said, what about strength of heart? What about strength of mind? What do you do every day to prepare yourself for strength of heart and strength of mind? What do you do to train those attributes?
Because we do physical training to prepare them. Because I think a strong body is a strong mind. How do you think you can have a strong mind without a stronger body?
No, I think you're probably right. I think they definitely go hand in hand. I would say to have a strong heart, you have to be open and sensitive, unafraid of showing your emotions, unafraid to cry, to hug your fellow man.
Unafraid of showing your emotions is very dangerous. I think men have testosterone, and if you give a big, strong man the blank check of showing your emotions whenever you like, that's the kind of guy who's going to end up beating his children or beating his wife or assaulting somebody or hurting people. I think that men need the ability to suppress their emotions. Would you disagree?
I think there's definitely times when suppressing your emotions are good. But
You ever been angry and wanted to hit somebody?
Of course.
Oh, I think real men
course.
really express their emotions. So you should have hit that guy and end up in jail.
Yeah, just knock him out.
Yeah. Isn't that what you're saying?
Express your emotions.
Can I ask
bro.
you a question? Do you guys ever hug each other?
I hug people. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with hugging people. There's nothing wrong with being
Do you ever
affectionate.
hug each other though?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is wrong with that? It's not like
There's nothing wrong with that.
Shake hands, hug each other. I think that a lot of modern society, and I really just dislike this, is trying to make platonic male friendships gay, or trying to make fun of platonic male love and platonic male friendships. I love my friends. I take a bullet for my friends. I've stood up against armed men for my brother. When you read classical literature, if you're a fan of Alexander Dumas and you read his Three Musketeers novels, they'll say things to each other like, I love you with all of my heart. And that was written in the 1800s. Nowadays, you tell your friend that and suddenly people want to make fun of you. People want to call you gay. That's, there's nothing wrong with loving your friends and loving your brothers and giving them hugs. And, I think it's very healthy.
Do you love your friends, Matt?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you die for your friends?
Some of them.
Some. Yeah, that's fair. If you had to go to war, would you call your friends or would you try and find someone else?
I prefer your friends.
Yeah. So
if
why
it was a war?
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
Actually, I take that back. Okay, because obviously I want to make sure that my army's fighting, ethically and following the Geneva Convention. And
do you
all
actually?
that. And I don't know. Yeah.
What if the enemy isn't?
Example to
What if the enemy isn't?
Well, then I'd like to show my moral strength is greater than them.
You
by
want to show
dying.
Correct. You want to die in a ditch for your moral strength?
If it means dying in a ditch, then yeah, I would say if it means that we were able to fight a just war.
Lie.
History is written by the victor. History is written by the victor, and you're going to go down in history as those who lost and those who were wrong because you're all dead. So if your enemy is using tactics that you disagree with, why would you stick to the rules? If I'm playing chess with you and I just move my pieces over yours and completely break all of the rules, why would you sit there trying to make fair moves instead of just tipping the board over and saying, fuck this?
You're going to die, and they're going to say that you broke the convention anyway because they're going to write the history book. So what's the point in dying?
I mean, again, I'm just here to observe, and I don't want to get too into it. But I guess because
Answer the question.
Cruelty and being immoral begets more cruelty and immorality. And if we had an army, I would hope that they would try and be less cruel.
Very idealistic of you. Unrealistic,
Perhaps,
There was
but
a time,
idealistic.
In the age of chivalry and gentlemanly warfare, this was a concept that you could actually apply. People would fight their one battle. The kings would write each other notes and letters, divide up the territory, etc. But the modern world doesn't work that way. And the world has only ever worked that way for a period of about 200 years in Europe. Besides that, it's dog eat dog out there. And I would advise you to fix up.
Let's show our man the test video that was made years ago before Corona. And this is what's coming to you. So pay attention to the screen. Now you can't hear the sound, but the sound is just music.
Can they hear us speaking?
Yes.
Wow, this does worry me. Ooh.
That guy just died. What do you think you're gonna have to go through? If you had to guess what it is, what do you think it is?
I mean, is it like a physical training regimen that's really, really intense?
There's no training involved.
Jesus Christ, this looks terrifying.
There's no training. What else do you think it could be?
I don't know. I'm just getting more and more sort of worried about it every time you say something new.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah, it's fine. Right, we have to do our normal broadcasting.
Okay.
It's been very